Judges, shall we start? I repeat, with the judge's permission, shall we start the proceedings? With the judge's kind permission, can we start?
I think
Yeah,
it's
please
okay
go
with
ahead.
me.
We'll just ask Rajesh sir if he's ready.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, let's start, please.
All right. Claimant, please state your team code.
The team code is AH.
All right. Respondent, please state your team code.
The team code is Z.
Mediator 1, please state your team code.
The team code is N.
Mediator 2, please state your team code.
The team code is AQ.
Candidates may please note, I'm going to read the rules. The total allotted time for the competition is 1 hour and 5 minutes. The 5 minutes will be for introduction and problem prompt, and the next 50 minutes is for the mediation. At the end of the 55-minute, 10 minutes will be provided for the feedback session of the judges. At regular intervals, the court officer will be giving you a verbal intimation regarding the time remaining. The participants are to always keep the video on throughout the meeting. In case of any caucus session requested by a party, will be included in the 55 minutes already allotted for the session. During the caucus session, the party who has not requested the caucus will be moved to the uh, breakout room, and the party who requested the caucus will only stay on the room. And this caucus, on the termination of the 5 minute allotted for the caucus, the participants in the breakout room will be automatically admitted to the main room.
Greetings of the day. Welcome to the final round of the 4th International Mediation Competition 2025 conducted by the Kerala Law Academy Law College, Trivandrum, in association with KLA MCS and IQAC KLA. I am Nibin Philip Matthew, along with Sarang Sri Krishnan and Adit Ajay, are your court officers who will be guiding you throughout the session.
Kerala Law Academy Law College has proved its eminence in legal erudition by being a par with international standards. The Kerala Law Academy Law College, which since its establishment in 1966 has been a beacon of excellence in legal education, consultancy, and research. Affiliated with the University of Kerala, the Kerala Law Academy Law College has nourished legal minds and contributed its significance to the legal landscape, fostering a literal environment for legal research through its eminent research wing and Center for Advanced Legal Studies and Research Center.
Today, we are most delighted to welcome our esteemed panel of judges, possessing an expansive array of knowledge and expertise. Firstly, we have Sri Gokul Narayanan, Chief Executive Officer of Asian School of Cyber Laws. Gokul sir has trained over 10,000 or lakh students, including law students, lawyers, judges, law enforcement officers, and chartered accountants and IT professionals. He has taught more than 50 prestigious universities and organizations nationwide. Sir is a respected figure in the legal moot courts, mediations, and negotiation competitions, where his insights have shaped the next generation of legal minds. Sir is currently the Chief Executive Officer of the CEO of Asian School of Cyber Laws. Sir's contribution to the legal realm are both profound and inspiring, and rendering him a leading figure amongst us. We are indeed in deep respect and administration, and we wholeheartedly welcome you, sir, to this competition.
Thank you.
It is our privilege to welcome an esteemed legal professional, Advocate Rajesh C. Muttat sir, whose contributions to the field of mediation are truly remarkable. Sir is not only a distinguished legal mind, but also a visionary leader in alternative dispute resolution. As the chief architect and chair of the committee of coordinators of Project M for Mediation, he is spearheading a transformative initiative aimed at training 1,000 professionals and reaching 100,000 individuals in 2024, fostering a culture of mediation across Kerala. With immeasurable prowess and mastery, we are immensely honored to be in your presence today, sir. We extend our heartfelt greetings to you in this finale.
Thank you.
Finally, we have with us Miss Advocate Benaka Nair Sasindran, ma'am, an esteemed academician, legal expert whose contribution to education, gender justice are truly inspiring. Ma'am service as an associate professor and vice dean at the Jindal Institute of Behavioral Science. Her commitment to commitment to foster and safe and inclusive environment is evident in her role as a member to the Committee of uh, Gender Sensitization against Sexual Harassment. With wealth of experience and commitment to justice, we extend a warm and sincere welcome to you, ma'am, to our competition.
Thank you.
We are honored and grateful to have all the three judges present here for willing to take the time out of their hectic schedule and joining us in the final session of the 4th International Mediation Competition 2025. We humbly welcome you all into this session.
Judges, I kindly request to note that there will be a 10-minute feedback session. The feedback session will begin after the verbal intimation by the court officer. At the 7th minute of the allotted 10 minutes, a verbal intimation will be given by the court officer. Judges, with your kind permission, shall we begin the session?
Yes.
Could you just assist me with the names of the parties again, please? I just want to note it down on my sheet before we start scoring. Otherwise, it'll be a little bit of a because we've got 6 scoring parties over here, 2 mediators, and the clients and the counsels all are going to be graded separately. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Organizers, could you just confirm that? So
Yes, sir.
we have 2 mediators who are going to be scored separately, and 2 clients and 2 counsels who are going to be scored separately, not as a team. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So could we just have the parties introduce themselves very quickly once again with the nomenclatures that have been given to you, please? Mediators,
sir.
could you just
Yes,
let
sir.
us know your nomenclature so that I can put it down on the scoring sheet? Menika ma'am
Participants
and
may-
Rajesh sir, I don't know if you've got the sheet with their names already entered, because I don't have it like that. So I'm a little confused how we'd be scoring. So I just wanted the names and the nomenclatures that have been assigned to them.
Participants may please state your team code and as well as the post you've given to the judges.
Please.
Please go ahead.
Please.
So I'm mediator 1. My team code is N.
Okay. Mediator 1, team code N.
So our team code is Z. We are the responding party in this mediation session, both client and counsel. Team code Z.
Sir, I'm mediator 2 and the assigned team code is AQ.
Is
AQ.
AQ.
So my team is representing the claimants, client and counsel. The team code is AH.
AH. All right. Thank you.
All right, judges and participants. This is the final round with team code AH as claimant, team code Z as respondent, team code N as mediator 1, and team code AN as mediator 2. Sorry, team code AQ as mediator 2. Participants may please note the session starts now.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone, depending on which time frame you currently are in. Before I begin, I'd like to confirm, can you all see me clearly? Am I completely audible and I'm completely visible? A thumbs up would clear the same for me.
You are.
Thank you so much. So how is everyone doing? Is everyone comfortable? Thank you so much. I would like to officially welcome both the parties to this mediation session today. This session involves Jodha, who is the requesting party alongside her counsel, and Virat, who is the responding party alongside his counsel. I firstly extend my heartiest congratulations to both the parties for having choosing mediation as a means to resolve the issue at hand. The fact that you 4 are here at this table today shows how willing you are to communicate, to have a dialogue, and in order to reach a solution beneficial to both the parties present over here. So now, to get things started off, I would like to take a moment of a brief round of introduction. I would like to begin with myself, and I would also introduce my co-mediator. I'm Ira Ambani, and I'm your mediator for today's session. You could refer to me as Ira as I like it, or you could call me Miss Mediator. I'm pleased to be joined by my co-mediator, Sam Gupta. You could call her Miss Sam or Miss Mediator too. I am a certified mediator with 14 years of experience in the field of mediation. And I have handled a variety of cases like the one before us today. So I can assure you that you are definitely in great hands today. And I could say the same for my co-mediator as well, because I've definitely handled one more case like the same one with my co-mediator being present too. Before we proceed, could we have a quick round of introduction of the parties? I would just like you all to state your name and the position you are here in. We could begin with the requesting party.
Hello, everyone. I'm Joda, the mother of Indra. I'm the requesting party in said case.
Greetings, everyone. I am Ria, and I'm representing Ms. Joda here. You can refer to me as Ria or as the Council of Joda.
Pleasant afternoon to all. Myself, Virat. I'm the father of Indra. And today I'm graciously joined by my counsel, Ms. Anamika, for this mediation session.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Anamika, and I am the counsel for Mr. Virat. My pronouns are she, her. Please refer to me by my first name.
That was great. Before we could begin, I would like to inform the parties that since this is an online mediation session, I would like to make it very clear before we could begin with the mediation session that if any of the parties face any technical issues or maybe connectivity issues, kindly get in touch with me or my co-mediator Sam Gupta through the meeting host. This is your session, and we are not proceeding without you. Moving further, I understand that both the parties have a very pressing issue to deal with today, so I would not waste much time and quickly go through the key aspects of mediation. Over 14 years in this field of mediation, what I genuinely believe in is clarity first and negotiation later. So let me get a few things clarified over here. The first question I want to ask is to the councils. Would the councils be fine if me and my co-mediator could directly speak to the client throughout the session?
Of course, it's fine with me.
It's fine for us.
Thank you. Have any of the parties ever been for a mediation session earlier?
Yes, my client has been in a mediation session earlier.
Jodak, could you kindly clarify?
Yes, I've been in a mediation session.
That is great, and y'all would definitely know a lot about mediation. But however, let me just take you all quickly through the process of mediation so that we are on the same page. Firstly, mediation is a fair process whereby you both parties come together to resolve the dispute at hand. And you all make use of us, independent, fair, and neutral third party. Kindly note that we are not judges, we are not arbitrators. We are not here to judge you. We are not here to impose our decisions over you. It is completely your session, and you have the right to decide what you want for yourself. What we do assure is to maintain the voluntariness, confidentiality, and the self-determination of the party. What that means is you decide and we just assist. Think of us like the GPS of your car. We only show you all the direction, but the destination, the car, everything is yours. That brings me to the next question I want to ask the parties. Are you all here voluntarily and in good faith?
Absolutely, I'm here voluntarily, and I'm very much grateful for this mediation session.
Thank you to the parties. I would also like to clarify, do you all have the complete authority to settle today if an agreement is reached without contacting anyone else? Except obviously
Yes.
the council is present.
I'll be consulting with my counsel in between if required, and it would be wonderful if we can reach to an agreement in this session.
That's great. One more question I want to ask is whether you all have signed the confidentiality agreement that I had sent earlier.
Yes,
we have
my client
signed
has
the
signed the agreement.
Thank you so much. I'm quite impressed by how patient you all are with me today and the amount of questions I've been asking you all. Now, before I pass on the stage to my co-mediator to brief you all with the stages of mediation, I would like to highlight that this session is going to be completely confidential. If you see me or my co-mediator making any notes, we will tear it down soon after the mediation session is over. we do not reveal anything that is stated during this session, except in certain exceptional cases, my co-mediator would be stating about the same. Furthermore, if at all, I guarantee you all that no one is there along with me in this room today. I'm the only one present here, and I'm sure enough that you all are also alone, and this is a very private session today. Furthermore, before I could pass on the stage, I would like to state that this session, whatever is said here is said so without prejudice. What do I mean by this? Is we are not here to assume anything until you explicitly and expressly tell us so. This is not a legal proceeding, and if you so desire to pursue this matter in the court of law, this session will not be a hurdle in your right to do so. Now, I would like to call upon my co-mediator who will brief you all through the stages of mediation.
Thank you, Ms. Saira, for so beautifully having that. Now, good afternoon to all present here. My name is Samgupta, and you can call me by my first name. I've been practicing as a mediator for 17 years now, similarly to my co-mediator here. So rest assured, you can keep trusting the capabilities today. Now, thank you both for committing to this process and for being here today, especially during this hour of the afternoon on a weekday. I'm pretty sure both of you had your own commitments and schedule, but yet made time for this. It assures us of your dedication to resolving this dispute amicably. Now, parties, as Ms. Ira has beautifully explained to you, are roles. Think of us not as judges or arbitrators or kindergarten teachers who will tell you what to do, but we'll try our best to be neutral here today. You might see us intervene occasionally, but that is just to clarify certain facts, just to ensure all of us here are on the same page. Now, Ms. Ira has briefly explained the mediation process and now explain how this session today will unfold. So we'll begin with opening statements where each of you will have the chance to explain uninterrupted what brought you here and your perspective of the situation. Once you've heard both sides, we request the parties to both point out the issues they want to discuss today. And based on that, we'll recognize the issues most important to both the parties, and we'll set an agenda to guide our discussion. As I like to say, Ira and I are like the M in mediation. The process starts with us, but does not end with us. It ends with you. You are the focus. Now, at some point, we may meet with each of you separately in what we call a caucus. This is a private meeting where you can share concerns or thoughts confidentially, which I believe will be important in the session today. So the mediators may call it if we sense a deadlock, or you're also welcome to request it anytime you wish to speak to us privately. Please rest assured it's confidential unless you ask us explicitly to state anything in the open session. Now, everything shared here stays within this room. However, there are some exceptions. If someone confesses to or plans a criminal act, fraud, or physical violence, we may need to inform the relevant authorities. Lastly, remember that mediation is not a legal proceeding. As Ms. Ira has already told us, you retain the right to pursue this matter in court if you wish later. Now, I'll also be setting some ground rules for this session today, and I hope we can follow it through the end. Firstly, one person should speak at a time. The other person, please try not to interrupt. Secondly, dignity is of utmost importance in the session. Please remain civil and be respectful to each other. The process should not turn belligerent and accusatory. Please do not use unparliamentary language. Thirdly, this is not a court of law. Hence, let's keep legal jargons to the minimum. However, even if any is used, please explain it in brief so everyone in the room is on the same page. Lastly, please be open and keep a broad mind. Today, the parties here are two, but the stakeholders are three. Hence, please keep your interests in mind, but also try to understand the other party's perspective. Today, we are discussing a sensitive issue. I hope this provides a platform to clear up misunderstandings and address each other's concerns and come to an amicable solution. But parties, although all of us would love a solution, please remember mediation is just a session to understand each other better. So although I hope it's a constructive resolution-driven session rather than a break. Now, parties will just take a moment to clarify that there's no conflict of interest here. So can the parties please clarify that they have not met either of us before?
No, we have not met you guys.
We have not. Thank you.
No, I haven't met any of the mediators prior to this session.
And can I also please confirm that both the parties are okay with both the mediators here and have no hesitancies regarding this?
No, we don't.
We're completely fine. Thank you for
We're
that.
completely fine with it.
Thank you. So, parties, take a sip, get comfortable. Let's begin. I request the requesting parties to start with their opening statement now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jodha. I am the mother of Indra, who's 11 years old. I was married to Virat for about 12 years, and now we've filed for divorce. And we are here because we need to reach an agreement upon the custody of our dear child. Now, I'm not here to play any blame games or accuse anybody of anything. The matter that concerns the most to me is the safety and well-being of my daughter. And I would like to stress upon the fact that she has been going through a lot lately, especially with the divorce, and the children at her school have been bullying her, and her mental well-being is at stake over here. And I don't want my daughter to be affected by what her parents are going through right now. But unfortunately, she's been affected by most of it, and I am really sorry for that. And I chose mediation because I need to reach the most amicable solution as soon as possible, because the stakeholders, as pointed out by the mediator in this issue, are not two but three. And I've not had a very good childhood of my own, and I just want to ensure that my daughter has a childhood where she gets to be the child and not the adult. And dealing with such sensitive issues right from a young age can be can be very mentally tearing upon a person. And having fully understood that, I am here to talk about the custody of my child. And I would also like to put forth the fact that, being the primary caregiver of Indira, I've taken care of her for 11 years now, and I'm perfectly capable of taking care of her for the years to come. And I understand that Virat also has certain rights over our daughter, as she's not just mine, but his daughter as well. But I just want to ensure that my child grows up in an environment that is safe for her. And I'm perfectly capable of taking care of my daughter. But the thing is, this custody issue has been not just affecting her, but also me. And I'm sure Virat as well. So I really hope that we could reach a very amicable solution. And I would like to thank the mediators for their great insights on the process. And now I would like to hand over the baton to my dear counsel, so that she could explain to you guys about the sensitive situation that me and my daughter are in a more clearer manner. Thank you.
Thank you, client. So, greetings to everyone. First and foremost, I would like to thank the mediators and all who are present here for taking their time to engage in such a meaningful discussion with a very open mind, especially on a weekday, where everyone is busy. So, I am Ria, and I'll be representing my client, Ms. Joda, in this particular mediation. Now, mediation is not very easy because it is something which requires a certain level of patience and understanding. However, in this mediation, it is not just, we are not concerned with only individual concerns. Here, there is something greater that we have to look at, that is Indra. We are here to find a path forward, one which prioritizes Indra's emotional health, safety, and stability, while also allowing for a structured and predictable relationship with her father. Now, we here seek to ensure that any kind of arrangement which is made today is not just legally sound, but also something which is practical and something which is emotionally sustainable too for all the parties who are involved in it, especially Indira. So I would like to say that I've already briefed my client about the mediation process. However, I have to say the insights of both the mediators have provided us with much clarity about the process. Now, I would like to set it out in the forefront that I'm here indeed in an advisory capacity, and I'm only going to be placing forward my client's interest and communicating whatever my client wants in this. Additionally, I will only be dealing with only the technicalities of the problem, nothing else. I've also advised my client to keep a very open mind while coming to this particular session. I would like to say that any kind of decisions which are taken in this particular mediation will be solely by Ms. Joda, because we all know this is a solely client-driven process. So now I would like to say that after much discussions that I had with my client, we feel that there are certain points which has to be definitely discussed in this particular mediation process. So there are actually three things that we feel are important. The first being discussions regarding the custody of Indira and visitation rights, etc. The second being discussions regarding the possibility of co-parenting for Indira's, emotional and psychological well-being. The third being discussions on financial contributions for child support and the shared responsibilities also. So we believe these are very important points which has to be discussed, and I kindly ask the mediators to take note of these while setting out the agenda. Thank you.
Would it be fine for the council to kindly repeat the last point? I just missed it out due to connectivity issue again. I heard custody of.
Sure. So the third.
Go on.
Yeah, the third is about discussions regarding the financial contributions for the child, the financial support, and about the discussions regarding the shared responsibility of the both parents. That is what is the third point.
So before we could go to the responding party, their opening statement, I would like to give a quick summary of what I've heard from the requesting party. Firstly, the main concern Joda points out over here is her child, the well-being of her child, and wants to reach the most amicable solution. She wants to resolve the custody issue as soon as possible, and because she believes that she is the primary caretaker of her child and therefore best suited for Indira. Furthermore, the requesting party wants to focus on speaking about the custody of the child, the possibility of co-parenting, the discussion on the financial issue, as well as the shared responsibility. Would that be a fair summary for the party?
Yes.
Yes, we could move forward with the responding party.
A very warm and rejuvenating afternoon to one and all present here in this mediation session. Before beginning with this mediation session, firstly, I would like to thank Ms. Jodha and her council for taking out time from the busy schedules and agreeing to this mediation session, and also to our wonderful Madam Mediators. I'm highly optimistic that we'll be able to come down to some mutually agreeable conclusions, which will be in the interest of both of our parties. I would like to briefly introduce myself. I'm Virat. My pronouns are he and him, and you can also address me as Virat. Now, as we all know, Ms. Jodha and I are struggling through a difficult phase regarding our marriage. While we always tried to sort things out, I personally never wanted any of this to affect my dearest daughter, Indra. So before beginning with anything, I just want to convey this to Ms. Jodha that in spite of all quarrels we have had over the past couple of years, I still carry the same amount of respect and dignity for you, and I hope we are able to peacefully sort things out regarding Indra in this particular case, especially. I think it's a known fact that mothers are Wonder Women in our lives. They are like our real life superheroes who not only support us emotionally, but will always protect us whenever they sense danger. In lieu of the same, I would firstly like to acknowledge that I completely understand that from where Ms. Jodha is coming from and her concerns as well. And she has been a wonderful mother to our dear child. But at the same time, I wish to raise an important question here in this mediation session. That do fathers don't play an important role in their child's life? Do they not hold any amount of significance in the growth of their child? I'm sure everyone in this mediation session has their own subjective way of defining terms like good parents, caregiver, ideal mother, ideal father, etc. But all I know is that I want the best for our child, Indra, and I don't want her to suffer because of mine and Ms. Jodha's disagreements. Henceforth, I wish to co parent our child together. I don't want Indra to grow up and be answerable to questions like, where is your father? Where is your mother? Why aren't your parents together? Etc. I would never want our child to go through such questions, and all of us know that our society is cruel. As far as my job or my workaholic nature is concerned, I worked really hard in my initial years to reach to my current managerial position so that once Indra grows up, I would be capable enough to provide for her as per her desire. If this is considered as ignoring my child, then I don't know what else to say, because even when I had longer working hours, or now when I have flexible working hours, never have I ever missed any of Indra's school plays or competitions, because at the end of the day, for others, I can be a bad employee, I may be a bad husband, but for Indra, I'm just her father. So I just wanted to highlight that before beginning with anything. And I would like to request to you, Ms. Joda, I hope you'll understand the nature of my position. And to sort out with this issue, I would like to introduce my dear friend and my counsel for the day, Ms. Anamika, who has graciously agreed to help me with this mediation session.
Good afternoon, esteemed mediators, respected counsel, and Ms. Jodha. We appreciate the opportunity to engage in this mediation today. This forum gives us a chance to resolve this matter peacefully. We are here today for a matter of utmost importance, determining what is in the best interest of an 11-year-old child, Indra. My client, Mr. Virat, fully recognizes the sensitivity of the situation and remains committed to ensuring that Indra receives the love, care, and support she deserves from both parents. Mr. Virat is not here to create conflict, but to find a fair and balanced solution that prioritizes Indra's emotional and psychological well being. While Ms. Jodha has played a significant role as the primary caregiver, Mr. Virat has always been a devoted father and has a right, and more importantly, deep emotional need to be a part of his daughter's life. Denying him joint custody or significantly limiting his access would not only be unfair to him as a parent, but could also have a lasting negative impact on Indra. Research and experience show that a child benefits immensely from having both parties actively involved, as it fosters emotional stability and a sense of security. Mr. Virat strongly believes that Indra should not be forced into a situation where she feels like she has lost her father due to the breakdown of her parents' relationship. We acknowledge the concerns raised by Ms. Jodha, and my client is willing to work constructively to address them. Our position is simple. Mr. Virat is not here to take anything away from Ms. Jodha as a mother at all, but rather to ensure that he, as a father, is not taken away from Indra. We seek a resolution that allows Indra to continue benefiting from the love, guidance, and presence of both parents in a fair and sustainable way. Before we proceed, I would like to clarify that as counsel, my role here is purely advisory. The decision making authority rests entirely with my client, Mr. Virat. While I am here to provide legal guidance and ensure that my client's interests are well represented, it is ultimately he who will make any final decisions regarding a resolution. We look forward to working collaboratively to reach a resolution that satisfies both sides and avoids unnecessary conflict.
Thank you, Mr. Virat and Council. I would just like to summarize it in brief so we all know this in short. So, Mr. Virat, as you've told us already, we've clarified the relationship between you and Joda, saying there's still an amicable relationship between both of you, where you both share respect and a mutual respect, right? And secondly, he has also concerned about how told us about how great of a mother Joda has been. However, his main concern here remains to be the fact that he wants to remain a part of Indira's life. And that, I believe, summarizes most of what the responding party here has told us. Please let me know if I've missed out anything.
That's wonderful summarization. Thank you for the same.
Please, thank you. Also, Mr. Virat and Council, if you could also put what issues you would want to discuss here in short, I think we could then go forward to setting the agenda today.
Sure. Our first priority for this mediation session is to delve into maybe possible solutions of co-parenting or visitation rights, which are my primary concerns at the moment. And maybe furthermore, we can delve into the same scheduling of these visitation rights, because even though we quote it in the manner of visitation rights or maybe Indra having primary residence to one or the other parent, my main concern is that I should not be taken away from my own daughter. So I just wish to delve into maybe possible solutions like that. And I'll be really grateful for the mediators to facilitate the same.
What I'm hearing is from both the sides, both the parties over here, is the major concern of both the parties is the child, and therefore we could take one that to be one of the agenda. I framed a agenda draft which I'll be sending in the chat box, and you all could have a look on it. The first one is custody arrangement, as both the parties spoke about. The requesting party spoke about speaking about the custody of the child, and the responding party also wanted a discussion on co-parenting and visitation rights. I have added that into one agenda. The second agenda was parental involvement and responsibility, as mentioned by the requesting party as well as the responding party. Jodha as well as Virat both are looking forward for emotional and psychological well-being of the child, that being one of the major concerns. So that has also been added in the agenda. And I'm sure the requesting, I heard the requesting party was also looking forward for discussion on financial aspects. So I've put that in the agenda. Even though I have given them numbers, please do not consider those numbers to be the way we could proceed with the agenda. It's just a draft. You could let me know what could be removed from the draft, what could be altered. We could do the same. And kindly convey what you all feel about the draft.
The draft is suitable as per my client.
Could Jodha and the council kindly clarify?
Yes, we're okay with the agendas.
Okay, all right. So as I stated, even though I have put down the numbers, we could take up a discussion on the agenda point which you all want to take over. So which agenda point do you all want to go forward with?
My client would like to go forward with the point of joint custody.
That's the first agenda. Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Jodha?
So I would also be discussing on the custody arrangement.
That's great.
Okay.
Open the floor to open discussion now.
We could do that, and I'm changing the. I would re-edit the draft, and I would remove the term draft from the agenda, and that's the agenda we have set for the session. So we could go forward with the first point. The floor is yours. I would like to request the requesting party first. Maybe could you all elaborate more on custody arrangement and what you're looking forward for, and the responding party could take over next. Is that fine?
Yes. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. So, as I had already stated in the open statement, Indira is the primary person in my life, and I've been her caregiver for a long time. And I must say that in the past 11 years that she's been here with us, I, in many instances, felt like a single parent. This is not because of any lack of financial contribution or the non-presence of Virat in the school place of Indira or anything. It's just because of the fact that due to work commitments, he has not been there at home most of the time. And I do understand that his work schedules are quite hectic and that he's a busy man. But I would also like to stress upon the fact that he has certain habits that I would not want my daughter to take up. And this is a very sensitive issue at hand. And it has taken me a lot of time to come to terms with it. So forgive me if I get emotional. It's just that he has inflicted violence upon me, and I am not saying that he has hit our daughter or anything. He has not, and I would like to clarify it then and there itself. Now, he has inflicted violence upon me, and it has taken me a lot of months to come into terms with the fact that I was subjected to domestic violence. And see, the primary issue with joint custody is the same. I don't want my child near somebody who cannot control his emotions. I don't want my child near somebody who throws things at other people when he's angry. And I don't want my child to grow up thinking that this is how people express their love. Because primarily because for some years I thought of it that way. And I don't want the mistakes that I did to have an impact on my child's future. Now, the I would like to hand over the mic to my counsel, please. Please take it over.
Thank you, Ms. Joda. So, as my client has here said that she has always been the primary caregiver of Indra, and she has, always worked upon ensuring that she gets whatever she wants, be it in the education or the emotional support. She has always been there, even when there have been situations where Virat has been a bit negligent on that part, uh, especially due to his work commitments. It's not to say that he has not at all been there, but there have been negligence on his part. And especially if you look at my client's position, she has also suffered these violent, natures of the opposite client, which and because of that, she has acquired this particular fear as what if that happens to the child in the future, and she doesn't want that. She doesn't want her child to go, suffer any of those things. And there, given that fact, that is a sole reason that we believe Joda must be given the sole custody of the child. But that is not to say that we do not want Mr. Virat in the life of Indra. It is not that we are saying he should be there, because as a father, it is important that the father is also there in the child's life for the better, development of the child. And because of that, we believe that by giving Joda the sole custody, we also are willing to give, a supervised visitation rights to Mr. Virat, where and this is especially because of the, concerns with regards to safety. That's why we need a supervised visitation. Now, this at least initial point for initial phase, we need that. So, if you're able to do that initially, if you're able to have a supervised visitation, it can be like in the during the weekends or during the holidays or during the you know the after class hours. So these are the times we believe Mr. Virat can have visitation right. Also, if Virat is not if due to his work commitments, if he is not able to meet the child physically, he can we can also provide for some kind of video call or virtual platforms where he can really interact with the child, again under supervision, at least during the initial period. So this is what we want, and this we believe will be the of the best interest of the child. Now we would like to know what the other party also thinks about it.
I would request the requesting party to refrain from accusing my client. This is a mediation session, and we are all here to settle this dispute amicably and not accuse each other of various incidents. Because of this particular turn that the mediation has taken, my client and I would request a private caucus, as this accusation about domestic violence is unacceptable to my client.
Is Ms. Joda okay with this? Is Ms. Joda okay with the private caucus at this point?
All right. Judges and participants may please note that there will be one caucus session for each party. The maximum limit for the caucus session is 5 minutes.
Session manager, please note you would like to take the permission of the other party before we move forward to the caucus here. Ms. Joda, if you could let us know if you're okay with the private caucus, we could go forward with that.
So, okay with this.
Yes, thank you.
We're okay with that.
We'll go forward with the private caucus if my co-mediator is also okay with that.
It's absolutely fine. They really want to discuss the issue. I feel we should go for the caucus.
I really think it's beneficial at this point to considering it's a very sensitive issue here. So we'll go forward with the caucus.
Yes.
Judges and participants may kindly wait until the other party is moved to the breakout room. The participants may please note the caucus session will start in a few minutes. May I know to which party who the caucus is called?
Mr. Virat, responding by.
All right, respondent one. All right.
I'd like to
Judges
confirm.
and participants may please note that you have a caucus session of 5 minutes. Your time starts.
Thank you so much. Yes, Virat, you could go forward.
Thank you so much to the respective mediators for facilitating this private caucus. Actually, I came to this mediation session with a very open mindset, and I was very much grateful that we're finally, communicating in this open forum with the help of respective mediators. But the tone of this session in itself became extremely uncomfortable for me, and I was feeling very nervous because when terms like domestic violence come up, I'm not able to understand where is this coming from. Also, on my part, I want to be completely transparent here. Yes, during the course of our marriage, there were verbal altercations between me and Ms. Joda, but there was never a case of domestic violence which has occurred between me and Ms. Joda. I may not be a lawyer, and I have Miss Anamika to assist me for the same. And I would like to apologize if I, maybe miss some legalities. But as a common man, if I were to understand this, without any final court's judgment or, any formal order, all of these accusatory remarks and defamatory remarks like, domestic violence only hurts me, and it's very disrespectful. So I want to be very transparent with the mediators here that yes, there were some verbal altercations between me and my wife, which I never wanted to come out in front of my child. And also, like I stated in my opening statements, if me going out to work, in my initial, when I joined my company in the initial years, I started from a very small position and I had to dedicate that much hours in my office, and I hated it at the same time. But now, when I have reached to this managerial position, when I have this flexible working hours, throughout the time, there was never a moment where I did not think of my child. And like I said before, I may do my 9 to 5 every day, but I would never miss on any school play in which Indra is participating. So I just want to put this forward. Moreover, I understand where they're coming from a supervisory nature, but I, being a father, I also have some sentimental connect with my child. Indra and I are very close. So I would like to have an active role in my child's custody. Miss Anamika, could you please just help me in pitching the same here?
Of course. Domestic violence is a very heavy accusation, and Ms. Jodha has accused my client of the same without any solid ground. Mr. Virat is an upstanding member of society and is considered to be a person of high moral characters by his co-workers and peers. I don't think it is fair for Ms. Jodha to accuse him of domestic violence without any proof of the same. And this is a mediation session, as I communicated to the requesting party, the responding party, the requesting party as well, that this is a mediation session and we are here to peacefully and amicably look for a mutual solution that is acceptable to both parties, not accuse each other of various things or issues or incidences. Mr. Virat and Ms. Jodha have had their differences still have a lot of differences, which is why their marriage has dissolved in the first place. However, Mr. Virat has never had any issue with his daughter Indira. He has always been, since the very beginning, a great father. As my client also said, I will simply be reiterating his points that when he started out on his job, he started from a very small position, and he initially, in the initial years of his marriage, in the initial years of Indira's life, put in a lot of work and effort and sweat and blood into his job, simply so that he could earn a better living, give his wife and his daughter a better life. He did not do it out of enjoyment. He did not do it because he got some kind of pleasure out of it. He did it for his wife and his child, Indira's well-being specifically. Hence, I don't think it is fair to level this accusation on his head as well, that he was a workaholic, never gave time to Indira. And also, as he too stated, he has always been present at any landmark event of Indira's life. Whenever she has needed him, my client has always been there. Of course, Ms. Jodha is a wonderful mother. Nobody is denying that. She has raised Indira. She has been probably one of the best mothers out there. And she too has a great relationship with her child. But one cannot say that my client has not been present, that my client hasn't been a father to his daughter when he has. And as far as the joint custody is concerned, my client is very comfortable. In fact, he wants Miss Jodha, to be very much present and active in Indira's life, as she is her mother, and both parents play an equally important and an equally significant role in a child's life. Any child, Indira is 11 years old. She is still very young. Her mental and psychological state are still very sensitive. It is important for her to have both her parents present. It is very important, even psychological.
Very sorry, but the allotted time for the caucus is over. Judges and participants may kindly wait until the other party returns to the main.
Before we wrap this up, please also let us know if any of the information revealed here can be divulged to the other party.
I would just request the mediators to maybe disclose this fact of co-parenting, wherein both the parents have an active role when it comes to Indra. Moreover, I'm more than ready to go for, maybe a child psychologist could be considered here who can ascertain what are Indra's, emotions towards both the parents. And I'm more than willing to even consult couples therapy for both Ms. Rhoda and mine, as far as co-parenting is concerned.
I'm so sorry, Virat. I'm cutting you off. The other party has entered in, so I guess you have told this to the other party directly. Are you fine with it? We could go about with the discussion of co-parenting.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. It's just the tone of session was a bit uncomfortable. That's
Yes.
why we wanted this private caucus.
Great. What do you feel, Sam? Do we take up the co-parenting issue, right?
We'll have the private caucus with the other party now, and then we'll go ahead. That's it. We'll have to give equal opportunity to both.
All right, all right. Or does the other party fine with a private caucus now?
Yes, I think
Judges and participants may please note that we will be having another caucus session. And the participants may please note the caucus session will start in a few minutes. The other participants will be moved to the other breakout rooms. What's the session? This was the session with them.
I hope so, but let
With
us
the
just
participants and judges' kind permission, just to let you know, the caucus session begins now. You will have a time of 5 minutes.
yes, Ms. Jodha, Ms. Counsel. I would first like to ask, how has the session been for you so far?
I'm still hoping to reach an amicable solution. Yeah, and hopes are still high.
Yes, definitely. Is there anything private you want to divulge to us? Considering it's a sensitive issue, we understand. Hence, please rest assured we will not be revealing this outside unless you ask us to.
See, I would also like to point out something else. It's the fact that I do not mean to be disrespectful to Virat in any manner, and I'm not accusing him of anything because, see, my concerns are not of top priority here. I'm just here for my daughter. So, but I would like to say that he's been having an extramarital affair lately, and I've lost all trust upon him as a person. And this is one of the sole reasons why I am kind of reluctant to have joint custody for my daughter. But the co-parenting therapy is something that I have considered, and if if after going to the sessions, if I am able to sort of reconnect with him in a humanly manner, I would say. And if I am able to regain my trust upon him as a person, then I could rethink about the custody of my child. And regarding the co-parenting therapy sessions and what I intend to bring about from those sessions, my counsel will be discussed with Madam Mediator as well.
Yes, Ms. Jodha. Also, I had one question I would like to ask you just to clarify our positions here.
Yes.
When you talked about how you wanted, say, you wanted supervised visitations, right? Do you in any way mean that you do not want to interact with Virat, or are you fine with that? Because
So, what I primarily meant by supervised visitation is he could come home over the weekends when I'm free, and he could spend time with our child. But this has to happen when I am at home. This cannot happen in my absence. That's all I'm asking for. I do not have any personal vendetta against him or anything. I just don't want him to be interacting with my daughter in my absence, at least for some time now. At least in the initial sessions of the co-therapy thing, if he is willing to do so. And if the sessions, like I stated before, if these sessions help me regain my trust in him as a person. I understand that we were married for 12 years, and I trusted him with my whole heart, and kindly try to understand the position I'm in right now. So that is why I'm denying this joint custody. I'm not against him as a human being. I've known him for a decade and over a decade, and see, it's just that we have certain issues right now. I just want to sort out those issues first, because it's not just about the mental well-being of my daughter. Like her, I strongly believe that her parents also have to be in a mental state to sort of help her grow up as an individual. Now, if Madam Mediators may permit, my counsel would like to delve deeper into the therapy sessions that we were intending.
So as my client here have said, she does have concerns about the custody, at least during the initial time. So if the other party is willing for a therapy session, which I would be explaining as to what exactly we mean by that, a co-parenting therapy session. At least during the initial time where we propose for a supervised visitation, we can see how is it working, and then we can move on to discussing about the co-parenting. So coming on to what the therapy that we are talking about, we are proposing for a solution-focused brief therapy or SFBT, which is nothing but a very short-term goal-oriented therapy, which is aimed at offering a very practical solution to enhancing the co-parenting relationship that is there. So here, what we mean is that instead of arguing over what has already
Very
went
sorry to
wrong in the
interrupt you,
relationship.
but the allotted time for the caucus is over. Judges and participants may kindly wait until the other parties return to the main room. Thank you.
Can I take like 1 minute to finish? Like very really quickly. Yeah. So here what we mean is like providing a very neutral
Very
space
sorry
that
to interrupt you. You can only if the judges consider and give you an extra minute, will you be given an extra minute, or else we will be moving on with the normal session. So, judges, with your kind permission, the council requests for an extra minute.
Yeah, let her finish it.
All right, all right.
So what we mean by here is providing a very neutral space where both of the parents can openly, freely communicate in a very structured and respectful manner. And if we are having an expert guidance like a co-parenting therapist, they'll be able to give proper practical strategies to handle any kind of disagreement that they may have regarding the upbringing of the child, and also help them to have a structured plan as to how to go about it, like establishing clear rules, boundaries, and expectations, etc. So we believe that if we are able to have this in place, we'll be able to have a better emotional growth for the child. And this is what we think is very necessary at this point. Only then we can think about any other possible course of actions.
What I am gathering through very quickly before the other party could join in is you all are looking, the party is looking forward for co-parenting provided further earlier. We go both the parties go through a co-parenting therapy which would be a goal-oriented therapy where both the parties could understand how co-parenting works. Till then, would you suggest having therapy?
Once again, this is for the information of all the parties and the judges. The allotted time for the caucus session is over.
In that
Judges
case,
and participants may kindly wait until the other party returns to the main room. Thank you.
If I think if we are allowed, we'll just discuss this in the open session itself, considering it was an offer. Hence, I think we are okay with discussing that.
yes.
With your judges' kind permission, shall we resume the session?
Yeah, go ahead.
The participants may please note that you have 7 minutes left.
Yes, thank you. So now we saw in the private caucus with both the parties, with both the parties, we saw that certain interests were revealed and we saw offers were released too, right? So I think if both the parties could give that, if they could discuss amongst us of offers, I think we've found some common ground. And I'm pretty sure the parties will see that common ground themselves too, if they could discuss regarding that.
We say about the therapy session. So what we had proposed is that before we move on to discussing about the parenting, the custody of the child, we want to see if if that will be working. It's not that we are against the father seeing the child being involved in the child's life, but before that we need to ensure that a proper therapy is given to both of the parents regarding the co-parenting, so that child's well-being is given importance. So what we want here is a solution focused brief therapy session, or SFBT, which is nothing but a practical solution. It's a short-term goal-oriented therapy session, which is aimed at providing practical solutions to parents regarding co-parenting. So here we'll have a neutral space where both of the parents can communicate regarding in a very structured manner and respectful manner, and it will help when since we have a therapist, an expert therapist here, they'll be able to give some practical solutions regarding how to handle any kind of disagreements that the parents may have regarding the child's life, or they can establish clear boundaries, they can establish clear rules and expectations in place. And we believe that this will help in both the emotional well-being of both the parents and especially the child. And this will help the child to get over from any kind of
I'm sorry, but
resentments or guilt after that. So we would like to know.
Participants may please note you have 5 minutes for me.
Yes, so summarizing the offers we have so far, I'll just summarize so both the parties can understand it. Firstly, it was suggested that supervised visitation rights be given so that Mr. Virat can come over and visit the child, or it could be done through online video sessions too. Secondly, co-parenting therapy was also an offer where both the parents go through this therapy where they try to understand each other again. And joint custody was what Mr. Virat meant. I see a nice transition step here where, so parties, please know that this is just a suggestion. However, I see a nice transition here where we could start, I believe, with supervised rights as Ms. Jodha has suggested, and then we could go on to co-parenting where both Virat and Ms. Jodha could also understand and try to reconcile. And then I think joint custody could be seen as an option where we might then be transitioning to that. So this could, of course, be discussed in the further mediation sessions, but Could the parties please let me know how they consider this offer right now? Mr. Virat, please.
Madam Mediator, I just wanted to put forward one minor request. I would love to have the therapy sessions, and that was one of our primary concerns. But as far as the supervisory custody is concerned, I would like to have a more active role, as in I don't want that Indra should have a primary residency at one of the parents' places. Maybe her residency could be shifted between both the parents as per the child's requirement. Maybe we can delve into the intricacies of the same in our future mediation sessions. However, as far as the therapy sessions are concerned, or how the joint custody would be facilitated, I'm more than willing to comply for the same in our future mediation sessions.
Heather over
Later,
here.
if I'm allowed to speak, I would like to say something.
Yes, you can.
Yes. So I would like to stress upon the fact that until and unless we've started the therapy sessions and a beneficial outcome has come out of those sessions, I would only be interested in giving the supervisory visitation rights. And after those therapy sessions, if those sessions are fruitful, then I am open to discussing about joint custody. But then until and unless we've not reached upon a beneficial outcome for the therapy sessions, I don't think I'd be able to give him joint custody of our child.
Ms. Jodha, coming to how the resident shift was mentioned, do you think the supervision, this is a suggestion, but do you think the supervision visits could happen in both the residents when you, as well as the child, both of you go to either of the residents? So Mr. Virat could visit your residence at some times, and on some other times, maybe you and the child could both go to the residence. If that is the case, would you then be okay with having that as one of the first phases?
Yes, I'm completely okay with that. I just want my daughter to visit her father in my presence, at least initially.
Yes, Mr. Virat, are you also okay with that?
Yes.
My client is okay with the therapy sessions on the condition that he gets joint custody. We are very much complying with the residence issue that Jodha can go back and forth between her parents' residence depending upon her needs and requirements. However, we would like the therapy sessions along with the joint custody.
If I may put a suggestion, Ms. Arya, if you have to say anything, you can also go ahead, please.
Indeed, I just wanted a clarity from Virat for this matter. Is what the requesting party, what Jodha is looking forward for is clarity over from Jodha at this point is what they're looking forward for. They're ready to go through a co-parenting therapy only on the condition that they get a joint custody of the child. What is your view on that? If you could clarify more on that, we could go forward.
Madam Mediator, just to clarify, I believe in the previous remarks made by Ms. Jodha, there was this particular statement that once the therapy session starts, then she will take a call for the joint custody. However, from the entire beginning of the session, we are agreeing, we are not denying the fact for the therapy sessions, but only on the condition because we don't want to, get this dispute prolonged. So we will comply with the therapy sessions, but only on the ground that we do get the custody of my child, both in the form of an active parent, a parental responsibility, and also
Participants may please note the allotted time for the session is over. Judges, with your kind permission, shall we move to the feedback session?
At this point, I would like to request the judges if you could get a 3-minute extension, we'll wrap this up. However, if not, we'll end this mediation.
Speaking for myself, I think I will do that. Gogol, what do you think?
Sure, sir. We can allow that, ma'am. Menika, ma'am, are you okay with
Alega?
giving them a 3-minute
Yes,
extension?
Yeah,
please go ahead. Quickly wind up, please. Thank you.
So I think we can wrap this up then. So basically what we've understood is, Mr. Virat, I think we see a lot of common ground here then. So considering this is not the last session, obviously, maybe we could start with the co-parenting therapy sessions, and in the further session, in our further mediation sessions, we could then discuss on how if the joint custody will depend on this co-parenting, considering co-parenting therapy will help you and Ms. Jodha to both understand your issues and sort it out. So I think, would you be okay with that?
Sure, we can discuss the intricacies of custody and how it can be facilitated further. And I'm more than happy to go for the therapy session. But I do wish to pursue the custody because we are already complying with Ms. Jodha's needs at the present moment.
Definitely. So considering we are coming to an end of the session here, it was beautiful to see how two parties started as, again, two different parties with different opinions. But slowly, as the session ended, we came together to have both the parties coming across the bridge to meet each other's demands, right? And it was wonderful to see how both the parties kept Indira's concerns as a private stake interest here. And it's nice to see how we've agreed on two issues here. Firstly, being both Mr. Virat and Ms. Jodha have agreed to supervised visitation rights, where the residents will fluctuate as the nitty-gritty details will be discussed later. Secondly, I think we've also and let my co-mediator take this second agreement we've come up actually.
Second thing we have agreed over is co-parenting therapy until we meet for the next session. Like we could take up more discussion over how the joint custody or the sole custody, any discussion over that matter of the custody of the child could be taken over during the next session. And for now, what we have agreed over is the shifting of the residence and also the partial agreement towards co-parenting therapy, where both the parties are looking forward to go for co-parenting. I think that that is a quick summary of what has been understood by the entire mediation session. The session we had today. Is that right? Could both the parties clarify?
Yes, absolutely right.
Yes,
So,
Ms. Mediator.
financial responsibility is something we could easily discuss once these aspects are agreed upon in our next mediation session, and we could have it within 2 weeks. Now, I'd like to request both the parties to go ahead with the closing statements.
First of all, I would like to thank our mediators for this wonderful session. Even though we were not able to reach a final agreement per se, this is indeed a considerable development from the initial stage that we were in. And I'm looking forward to go to the therapy sessions, and I'm looking forward to mending my relationship
Participants,
with a
participants may
potential
please note.
co-parent of my daughter.
Participants may please note the allotted time for the session is over. Judges, with your kind permission, shall we move to the feedback session?
Sure.
Okay, the feedback session is for 10 minutes. Thank you.
So we can ask questions, is it? We can ask questions.
Yes, you can.
Okay, so I go first then.
Yeah, go ahead, sir, please.
Have you the mediators, the question is to the mediators. You are aware that there are different types of approaches to mediation, right? Facilitative, transformative, and evaluative. Which format were you seeing yourself doing in this mediation?
If I may go ahead with the answer for that.
Yeah, please.
Thank you, sir. So I think our main job as mediators here, considering it was a very sensitive issue, it was a family issue, and hence the mediators don't have a very dominant role, I think, here. And our main job was to facilitate and ensure that not a lot of emotions are brought in, but a practical solution could be reached. I think that was our main job, and to ensure that both the parties could see each other's sides. So I think going by the approaches, I think facilitative approach is what we were expected to have, and we believe we tried to do that.
Were you ready to give a legal opinion on what happens if the matter goes to court, the child custody matter? Should a party ask you in caucus or otherwise? Were you ready for it? And if you were ready for it, what would be your suggestion or comment? Any
We would indeed, sir. We did feel first that such questions would not be posed, but however, we were definitely ready if such questions could be posed. We would request the parties to keep legalities away as to what could happen through legal proceedings if later perceived. So that was our entire goal, to keep any legality, any law away, and only focus on what the problem is at hand, and find a solution to that. Only facilitate a conversation.
Also, sir, adding on to that, I think the counsels for both the clients were mainly present to provide those legal opinions, right? And hence, I don't think it was necessary on our part to provide any legal opinions. I believe the counsel would have done their job there.
okay?
All right. I'm a little confused over here. I know you had a paucity of time, right? So there's a process. You have to put everything into perspective within a very limited period of time, and I understand all those things. But let me say this: the mediators are legal professionals, right? They are providing a service with the intent of providing a solution in the form of a dispute resolution mechanism. This, mind you, is going to become one of the top forms of dispute resolution in the country. Have you ever seen any lawyer saying, thank you for coming into mediation, thank you for accepting mediation, thank you for being so kind, thank you for... I don't understand where this entire concept of I don't know where. I've seen it in a lot of competitions. I don't understand, because I've never done it as a mediator. I've been mediating for 10 years. I have never profusely thanked my parties for coming into mediation and choosing me as a mediator. I'm a service provider. I'm very confident of the service that I provide. And I say, there is nothing to appreciate about the fact that you've taken out time you're a service provider who's providing a paid service. What are you thanking each other for coming in on a working day? This is not some part-time job that you're trying to do, and how do I say this? Some charity work that you're doing where, oh, thank you so much. You have taken out time on your busy day and you have come in on a working day to give us some time. Nobody's doing anybody a favor. And I'm saying this to the clients as well. You are not, and I think some of the clients are more used to being mediators than being clients itself, because you don't refer to each other if you're a husband and wife as Miss so and so and Mr. so and so. If I am in a divorce proceeding, and I've been through one myself, I never called my ex-wife Miss so and so in a legal proceeding. That doesn't happen. You're trying to reenact what is going to happen in real life and trying to put together a certain set of real life scenarios and trying to find a solution to it. There were certain aspects in which you had an opportunity to come in and impact the course of the conversation. My problem is both of you think that the role of a mediator is an extremely passive and laid back role, and where you through your words, I get the impression you're constantly undermining yourself and your position in the entire process of dispute resolution. If their ability to resolve the dispute just by conversation and could exist, they would not need you. You are the people who are going to facilitate a conversation to reach a dispute resolution. Don't undermine your own importance to this entire process. The mediation focuses on the ability of the mediator to channel the conversation between the parties. And you need to take control of that process. All right. So don't, I am merely in a facilitative position. I'm merely helping you negotiate. Don't undermine your position as a mediator. I don't know how Menaka ma'am and Rajesh sir look at this perspective. And I'm talking about this from my own personal experience of mediating. This is my style of mediating. I'm sure people have like my mentor, Laila Olapalli, she has a different style of mediation, but she never puts her importance as a mediator into any doubt. The focus of the mediation is the ability of the mediator to facilitate that conversation. Please bear that in mind. I'm just going to wind up with one last aspect. There was an opportunity for the mediators to step in because there was something said about domestic violence. All right. there was a statement made by one of the parties about domestic violence. Now, I'm presuming that all of us have been given the same set of facts when we have walked in, the judges as well as the participants. And I think there's one line which mentions past violent behavior. If I'm not wrong, those are the words specifically used, which one of the parties interpreted as domestic violence, and the other party said, "Bhai, aisa to kuch hua hi nahi hai. There's nothing of the sort. I don't know. This person seems to be hallucinating about it, and they're insinuating the fact that I'm a wife beater or something like that." You completely glossed over that conversation without seeking any clarification on it. I mean, that was you segued so beautifully out of it, wherein you had an opportunity to take control of that situation by finding out what is happening. Do you know what happened over there? Because I don't. One person said domestic violence, other person completely refuted it, insisted that you have a caucus, and both of you like, whoa, like let's just. This seems to be like a complicated. Please understand, matrimonial mediations are complicated. Don't let emotions be. Don't be afraid of the expression of emotions. You're not therapists, but unless and until you allow parties to express emotions, how do you want to find a solution to the problem? The only critical issue you have is the paucity of time, and therefore to allow parties to express emotions may be a hurried process, but don't avoid it like the plague. Take it on. You will never be able to resolve disputes till you allow parties to have an opportunity to say their bit, find out more, ask more questions. You were extremely passive in the caucus because you were allowing. You have a very limited period of time. 5 minute ka samay tha aapke paas. You had 5 minutes of time, but your ability to control that conversation was very little because you took a very passive role in it. So you've done a great job, but I think you were so concerned about just completing the process step by step, and getting all of it packed into the limited period of time that you forgot how important a role you play. Yeah. All right. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, sir. So good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I have to second Gokul sir here. This is not in the typical format of a moot. This is a mediation effort, which means that it doesn't work in a scripted manner. It doesn't have to go in a certain order. You could have been creative in so many spaces, which I thought both the mediators lost on, and also there were important points where the councils could have jumped in and asked questions based on the facts also. I felt that the use of the sheet that was given to you in the beginning of the competition was not that much. I'm sure there were, I mean, I did note a few places, but then time has passed and we have limited time. So if you go back and look into the details of the facts, there are clear mentions. There are no specific mention of how the father was an actually active participant father in this equation. There could have also been questions of quality time spent with the child. This is from the side of the father. There were so many things that could have been brought into the discussion, which was not there. Again, a very important thing when in mediation, I believe that you have to not think like, I am a mediator and I am a client, I'm enacting this role. More importantly, you're representing your client, you are the client, you're actually doing it. So if you let that come through, I believe that you'll be able to do a little bit better in your future endeavors. Otherwise, all the best to all of you who participated today. Thank you.
Okay.
Respected judges.
May
Sorry.
please.
Rajesh sir.
Yeah.
Guys, just 1 second. Rajesh sir, I'm sorry, we haven't. I've taken up a lot of time giving that feedback, but please understand. I just wanted to say this to the participants. It's not that you've done a very bad job or anything like that. We've just got a very little time to be able to give you feedback, and therefore we're trying to cram all of that into a very limited time space. And Rajesh sir, I'm so sorry. You were trying to say something. I apologize.
No, that's fine. That's fine. You actually covered quite a bit of grounds. So when I am an observer to a mediation, when I'm looking for a mediation, what I am trying to do is to see whether you understand the concept of mediation properly. Not just the concept, but also the process of mediation very well. And in the process of mediation, it's a collaborative process, and that is not as sloganeering, Collaboration is not compromise. It's not simply settling the matter. It's also about working together to create value, not just claim the value. I mean, divide the pie. Remember that dividing the pie. you have a pie in front of you, and all of those are those things were stated in the fact statement. You are actually dividing that or quarreling on those things. I understand the time limit. I understand no structured mediation can go on in an hour, which we fully understand. But I was also, when we talk about the process, the core of the process is collaboration, and collaboration is about creating value. Outside I think Madam Manega said that as well. Outside whatever statements were given to you, you did not try to create value. You did not try to create options outside it. That's one thing. But I'm not, as Gogul said, it's not about you not doing well or bad. It's about doing better the next time. Then, of course, the key thing is coming up with a win-win solution. You need to be practical and you need to win-win solution. And that will take about that will sort of deal with the compliance issue as well. If you have a win-win solution, if it is practical, generally people are going to follow it. And of course, there is a
Respected judges, you may please note that the allotted time is over.
Understood. I'll take one more minute. And then, of course, it's also about tying up these things with a proper mediation settlement agreement. So although you have cleverly postponed it to another mediation session, we were expecting a closure to it, and at least the willingness of you to consider a mediated settlement agreement to be drawn. So we lost a bit of time in the beginning, and I particularly like the clients who were quite good at it, except that one of them I felt reading out a bit. Otherwise, I think there's a tinge of sadness in the clients when they express the feelings. I quite like that. And the mediators opening were great, but intervention, which as Gogul said, was critical, was not as well as their opening. Okay, thank you very much.
Just quickly, going to take 10 seconds here. When I gave the feedback, do not think that you did bad. It was just giving you suggestions for future. You all did good. It was just giving a suggestion for the future. I forget at times that words can be really strong. Just comes out like that. And I'm, again, positive time. That's there too. But thank you, guys. Thank you a lot.
Teachers, huh?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sir. Ma'am, that constructive feedback will really help future complications at least. So thank you for that.
Great. May I request the organizers to allow the judges to just have a conversation, and if the parties could leave the room so that we can discuss and then submit our score sheets, please.
Or are we not supposed to do that?
I beg your pardon?
No, I don't know whether they were supposed
No, I just wanted to have a conversation without the parties being in the room.
I think that is possible.
Yeah.
Sir, of course, sir, we can have that. Sir, as of now, the live is running. So we'll just conclude with our remarks from our things to say from our side and let the participants leave. And then we'll cut the live and then the judges may discuss. Is it okay, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sir. So thank you, judges, for your valuable feedbacks. With this, we come to the end of the finals.
I'd like to extend my sincere gratitude to the judges and participants for their kind cooperation. Now you may leave the meeting.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Judges, you may please wait. We'll get back to you when the live is off. Thank you.
When do you expect? Oh.